people have been evacuated. That's for the Green Wattle Creek fire, southwest of Sydney. The Federal Minister Angus Taylor is the local member and he joins me now. Angus Taylor, thank you so much for your time this evening. You've been at the evacuation centre all afternoon. What's happening there?
Well, look, we're seeing the fires move into the area around Bargo, Buxton, Coorajard, Balmoral, here southwest of Sydney in the Wallandilly region, and we've had about 150, 200 people evacuated. Emergency messages went out this afternoon to make sure people got to safe areas, and the fire has obviously jumped the containment lines that had previously been within. The wind direction has changed in the last little while, and that's obviously having an impact as well. But people are here being supported. I mean, this is a community that went through dreadful floods only a few years ago, bushfires back in 2013, and it really does band together, and we're seeing the local club providing incredible support, but people providing support to each other, which of course is what Australians do best. They unite when they're in these situations of adversity. We're still waiting to see what damage there has been, and in particular how the fire is continuing to progress at the moment.
Do you have any update on the number of properties that have been lost in the Balmoral and Buxton area? We're hearing around 20 properties may have been destroyed in the fire.
Well, look, obviously there's been some damage. We don't know the exact numbers. I've been in regular contact with the control centre, the bushfire control centre here nearby here at Picton. But look, we'll see. I mean, at the moment, the focus is really on life and property and protecting life and property. We've got RFS units that have been working now for a long time, for weeks, and they're doing an incredible job, absolutely unbelievable job. They've been hard at it for weeks. Their employers have given them the room to get out there and do this all-important work. We're incredibly grateful to them for what they're doing, and we know they're protecting property and life at the moment. We've triggered our disaster relief arrangements in this area, which is very important. People can get access to that relief immediately through Centrelink, through Human Services, and we're banding together to look after each other.
Angus Taylor, you're the Energy Minister. You have recently returned from the climate talks in Madrid. Do you feel Australia's doing enough to combat climate change when you see New South Wales experiencing so many fires over the last few months and the heat wave that's taking place around the country?
Well, let me make one point first, and I'll answer your question, which is, you know, when we have fires in this country, the great thing we've done since I was a kid is we unite, and it's very, very important we unite behind communities like this one in Wallandilly at a time like this, because people want that support, they give each other that support, and that's the most important thing we can do at times like this. Now, I'm obviously extremely conscious of Australia doing its bit on emissions. I've just been in Spain telling other delegates, other delegations about the work that Australia has done. We've beaten our 2012 targets. We're well over expectation on our 2020 targets, almost a year's worth of emissions reductions, and we've laid out exactly how we'll meet and beat our 2030 targets, and we'll keep striving to do that. That's our bit that we've got to do, and we're providing also enormous support worldwide through the work we're doing on technology, $500 million into hydrogen. These are important initiatives that will not just reduce Australia's emissions, but will help to reduce global emissions, and we're going to keep doing that. But I don't want to... It's an important issue, but right now, in this community here in Wallandilly, we're focusing on uniting behind the community to support them at a very tough time.
Of course, you're talking about supporting communities. Do you think it was the correct decision for the Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, to fly to Hawaii for holiday rather than staying and supporting those communities on the ground?
Well, I've got to say, in the last week I've been in touch with the Prime Minister. He seems to be pretty well connected to what's going on, and he's shared his concerns about what's happening in communities like here in Wallandilly. And I know his own home in the Shire is not far from here. He knows this area well, and he shares the concerns I have about making sure this community is well supported at this important and tough time.
So the correct decision for him to go on holiday?
Well, as I say, I'm not convinced he's having a very significant holiday right now. He's working very hard to make sure and staying in touch with people to make sure
should he come home?
The communities are well supported. Well, I mean that's a question that he will answer. I'm sure he's coming home. I think we've just lost a light here. He's coming home. He's coming home soon anyway. He's finishing up his holiday this week. But I got to say, he has been in contact. I've spoken to him in the last week, and he knows how important it is that communities like this get the support they deserve, and they are getting the support they deserve. I'm making sure I've been here all afternoon to make sure my community is getting the support it deserves.
Just to return to the Madrid climate talks, Australia was one of the countries, amongst others, that was blamed for frustrating the process in terms of coming to a stronger agreement between the countries. Do you feel like Australia did frustrate that process?
No, not at all. Absolutely not. I mean, Australia is meeting and beating its targets, and there's not many countries in the world that can claim that. There was clearly an issue in Madrid about Article 6, which is about international credits, carbon credits and the trading of those credits. And Brazil, India, China had a particular view about those credits. They're very different from Australia's position. We have strongly supported Article 6 and making sure that if there's going to be an international carbon credit trading market, that it'd be robust, and that was the position we took into Madrid, and we continue to hold that position. There's clearly more work to do on that, and I know as we go into Glasgow next year's COP, that will be a focus as it was this year. We'll look to get resolution. We want to see resolution on this issue.
You would appreciate, of course, that you're there supporting communities that are dealing with bushfires, but there is another issue that you're facing politically, and that's the New South Wales police inquiry into a forged letter. What are you being told about that investigation?
Well, there's ongoing inquiries, so it's not appropriate for me to make any comment on it at this time. I mean, these are inquiries that have been brought about from a referral by the Labor Party, and so I'm not free to make any further comments, but they've chosen to refer it, and I really haven't got any further comment to make. I've made a statement in the Parliament, and that's all I can do at this point. Have
you or any of your staff members been interviewed by police?
As I say, I've made my statement in the Parliament. It's an ongoing inquiry, and I'm not free to make any further comments.
Well, you can actually comment, because unless some charges have been laid and there's going to be a jury trial, you're free to actually discuss what involvement you have in the investigation.
Well, as I say, there's ongoing inquiries here, and I'm not going to make any further comment. I've made a very clear statement on this in the Parliament, an unambiguous statement, and I stand by that statement. I really haven't got any more to add. You can ask the question lots of different ways, I'll give the same answer.
Angus Taylor, we appreciate you taking the time to speak to us, and we'll let you get back to those communities needing your help.
Thank you.